Hi everyone, and welcome back to Miss Craft-A-Lot's Lair. I am Barbie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm here to show you the simpler stamping card. It does have dimensionals, so I'm not sure if that exactly qualifies under simple stamping, and it also uses the layering circle dies. That's what I'm looking for. Uses the layering circle dies. So this really technically is not a simple stamping card, but it's a simpler stamping card, if that makes any sense. It's using the Thoughtful Blooms SaleABration stamp set. I'm definitely showing off all of these right now, saying it is SaleABration. SaleABration ends March 31st, and it is going to be here before we know it. So if you're wanting to catch this, put in a $50 order by March 31st, and you should be able to get this as long as supplies do not run out. So the sooner the better, just to be on the safe side. I have my link to my store below, as well as my hostess code, so you get all sorts of fun stuff in the mail when you end up using that hostess code, excuse me. So yes, so this is a really cute set, really versatile. I'm also, as I mentioned, using the layering circle framelit dies. And those look like this. So you end up getting the 8 that are solid shape, and then you get 8 of the scallops. So I actually used the 2 smallest ones for this particular card. I'm going to put these back because I already have my pieces cut out. Decided I was going to save us a little bit of time on that. Alright, so today we are using the Whisper Whites 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. My basic go-to card base. Very rarely will you see me do a different one. And then I also used the Pacific Point for the scalloped circle, and then Whisper White for the solid edged circle. And one last thing, I have the metallic silver thread that I also used to kind of jazz up the card a little bit. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and grab my scrap piece of paper here, and we will get started. The inks that we're using today, the stamp pads, are Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, Bermuda Bay, and Pacific Point. And if you are like me and you organize your stamp pads according to what the catalog has, this is just going straight down the line from Granny Apple Green to Pacific Point. So, hey, it makes it easier, right? I'm going to move the little circles around here and make a little bit more here. Grab my Granny Apple Green is where I'm going to start off with. And I'm going to start off with this, it turned out to be, I thought it was going to be 4 separate stamps, but this particular stamp is all one stamp. I for some reason thought that it was going to be an all different. I don't know why. I was just kind of looked at it and I'm like shocked that it was all together. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this guy kind of all over the place, kind of random and all over, and off the paper and on the paper, and oh, that didn't want to stamp right. Let's see if I can line this up. Hey, I think that's good enough. I did that pretty darn good. That's why I like these photopolymer stamps. So I'm going to continue on getting these guys all over. And going off of the paper, you've heard me talk about that before as to why I like to do that. And why I think it looks a little bit better if you do. And then just the one off of the paper there like that. Okay, so that all being done, I'm going to go ahead and clean that guy off on my Stampin' Chamois and let me show you this. the Stampin' Chamois. I have it in another Stampin' Up case to keep it all nice and moist, and I am going to, I said moist. Anyway, so that way I can keep it all wet, and it will dry out eventually every so often, but it dries out about the same time as I need to rinse it out, so it actually works out really well. Okay, so Coastal Cabana. Now my Coastal Cabana I am going to use to stamp the main part. I would call it the fill-in stamp for the flower. That makes sense. And so this one, I'm going to all of these I'm going full strength. I'm not stamping off on these today. And this is going to be the kind of tricky part because it's going to line up in the middle here of these, for the most part. It's going to line up in the middle of these green spots. Did I? No, I didn't do that backwards. Did I? If I did, we'll find out here shortly. So that kind of stamped over. Oops. So this is kind of getting it all lined up and kind of taking your time, but I don't find it to be too necessary to get it just perfect because it's gonna make sense anyway. Make sure you get it all inked up. Now I'm going to make my thinking sound effects. There we go. And that should be all of those for those. I'm going to go ahead and stamp down here because this guy's going to look weird if it's not there. One last check. I think that's pretty good. Clean this guy off quick. Move on to the Bermuda Bay. I'm pretty sure I did that in the right direction. If not, it might look kind of funny. So then this is the kind of lined, I should come up with a better description for these. The lined set, I guess. And I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be too picky as to how I get these, because if it's a little off, I think that it looks a little, I think it doesn't look so bad if it's a little off. I know we had a stamp set before that was like this, and it was a little off, and I think it kind of drove some demonstrators kind of bonkers. But I am the kind that likes it a little off like this because I think it just gives it a little bit of character to the card. And then I have this one last one down here. Can't forget about him. See, I did it in the right direction. Yay! Yay me! Okay, clean him off. And then the last part is the Pacific Point. And that's going to be this little flower. Let's see if I can. And I am going to stamp around in the blank spaces just to kind of fill it in a little bit more and give it a little bit more color. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp these guys wherever there's a little bit of white hanging out there. Hopefully not dipping myself in my ink and making myself Pacific Point. And I love the little element that this little flower brings to it too. And you can pretty much fit this little flower anywhere. And I actually think instead of it being a little flower, I think it was supposed to be another way of an inside of the flower. But I think it looks cute as its own little flower, to be perfectly honest with you. Even if it was supposed to be the middle part to the flower. For some reason, this upper corner just looks a little bare to me. Oh well. You know what? I think I'm going to take my Granny Maple Green out real fast. This is why I keep these guys on the stamp. On the blocks. Because I want to get this guy. There we go. I think that's going to be... That makes it a little bit better for me. There we go. Oh, and I closed up my Pacific Point before I stamped my sentiment. So the sentiment for today is the little thank you that comes in this set. And I actually, this time I think I'm going to stamp it up a little bit. And I'm going to put one of these little blue flowers on here along with it because I think that needs... There we go. See, changing things up. I make a card and I change it up as needed. So, got my finger in the Pacific Point. Woo! See, I knew it was going to happen. Move that out of the way and we can get this all squared away and all adhered here. Grab my snail. Or you could use your adhesive of choice, but I tend to go with the snail. I think it's a little bit easier and such. The liquid glue, I think I get a little too messy with. But then again, I am more of a messier stamper anyway, so. So layer this up here. And then my silver thread. So I'm going to wrap it around my 3 fingers 3 times. So let's start this again. So 1, 2, oh really? When you're teaching somebody on camera, 1, 2, and then there we go. Well, I think I might have gone over 4 times, but there we go. 1, 2, 3. Put that off to the side. And now I'm going to tack a little bit of snail. Wants to be a shy snail again. And then I like for these little twists and stuff to be going from the upper left to the lower right. I just think it looks a little bit, I don't know, that's just the way I do it. I don't know if it's just out of habit or if it really looks better that way, but that's, anytime I make a card like this, I'm going from the upper left to lower right. Make sure they're all going the right way. And my dimensional trick to get the backs off of these, which didn't seem to work that well this time, but okay. I'll go with it. And then I will go ahead and pop this down on the lower right hand corner of my card. And there we go, a finished card. I hope that you liked this, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And of course, watch more because there are plenty of more videos already on my channel and coming to my channel. So if you did like this, be sure to watch more, get more ideas as far as these cards go and all the fun stuff you can do with rubber stamping. I just love it. I am hooked. I'm addicted. Anyway, so all of the few dimensions that went into this card and the project or products are down in the comments below. Also, my store is there, so if you want to pick up this adorable stamp set, you can go ahead and go to my shop via my Stampin' Up website, and you can go ahead and put in your $50 order and earn this one for free. There is also a coordinating punch that goes with this. I do not have it yet, but a coordinating punch that is punches out the flower, and that is for an additional $100 purchase. So, until next time,